Good morning. This is Clint, and this is my first Ashtanga in my lanai in an awful long time. As of the first of this month, April, I stopped teaching Ashtanga at the Lake Miona RecCenter because Sandy Macdonald came back from England after being kept away by the COVID bans. So anyway, this is the first recording that I've done. I really wasn't sure when I was going to do it, so there are no live viewers here. And I am planning on doing this every Friday morning at 8 o'clock. And it's from my lanai, so you'll be welcome to join on Zoom. And as usual, I will post these to YouTube. So today is just going to be a straight vanilla Ashtanga. That's kind of an oxymoron because it is always the same. So come to the top of your mat. Oh, and I apologize if my breath gets a little bit light and my speaking, if I skip some narrative moves. So come into Tadasana at the top of your mat. Your feet spread about 1 hip width apart. Lift your spine tall. Drag your feet toward each other. Roll your upper inner thighs towards the back, and then tuck your tailbone under. From here, lift your chest high, crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Lift your shoulders up, roll them back, shoulder blades kissing, and then just let them float down your back. Keep all those muscles engaged. Begin to engage your mula bandhas, your pelvic floor muscles, your kegel muscles, those muscles that you use to avoid urination on long trips. Your gaze can be at the far horizon or at the backs of your eyelids, completely up to you. And then engage your Uddiyana bandhas. Those are the muscles about halfway between your navel and your pubic bone, your lower abdomens. That will begin to warm up your body. And then begin to engage your Jalalahara bandhas. That would be closing off the back of your throat, your glottis, so that your breath begins to have sound. And breathe in and out through your nose. Breathing in and out through your nose increases the amount of oxygen that you absorb by almost 20%. That's because as the air runs through your nasal cavities, your sinuses, and down the back of your throat, it creates more pressure in your lungs. So the lung pressure you have is about 1 1/4 atmospheres, meaning that there's 1 1/4 more oxygen molecules for your body to absorb. Breathing in and out through your mouth avoids all the cleansing, the warming, and the moistening of your breath to get it into the perfect condition for your lungs, but it also delivers a higher quantity of air faster when you become hypoxic or needing more air than your body can normally bring in through your nose. Actually, that's when your body's consuming more oxygen than you're getting through your breath. Listen carefully. On your next inhale, bring your arms out, up overhead. Gaze up at your fingers towards the sky, palms together, and then float your arms way back out and all the way back down by your side. Inhale, out and up again. Gaze up, arch your spine. And exhale, let your arms float all the way down by your side. One more time. Inhale, arms out and up, overhead. And this time, swan dive all the way forward. You can bend your knees a little or a lot as your palms come down towards the mat. Now your palms might never get there, that's okay. We're going to be here for about 5 breaths. And use each breath, each inhale, straighten out your legs a little bit more, stretching your hamstrings. And every exhale, bend forward a little more, stretching your spine. Or on your 5th inhale, come up halfway, gaze at the horizon. Your hands can come towards your shins. Exhale, forward fold, just to your thighs. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead, palms together, and then lower your palms to Samastitihi, and then Tadasana. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward again. We'll be here 5 more breaths. Trying to loosen up and prepare your hamstrings and your spine for the vinyasas to come. On your 5th inhale, come up halfway, gaze at that horizon. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead, hands to Samastitihi, and then Tadasana. Inhale, arms overhead. This time, pause, grab your left wrist with your right hand, bring the weight into your left foot, and side bend to your right. This is a side bend, so keep that bicep over your left ear. And just try to push that wrist away with your right hand. You don't have to pull to the right, but just let gravity take your weight to the right. And 5, inhale all the way up, switch hands, weight into your right leg, and then side bend to the left. Stretch that right hand longer. Just check to make sure that you're not leaning forward, making this into a twist. You're trying to prepare your spine here. On your next inhale, come all the way up. Hands to Samastitihi, and then Tadasana. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward and pause there for just a moment. On an inhale, take your left arm out to the side and up into a twist. Gazing over at the wall to your left. Trying to get your shoulder blades vertical. And 5, exhale that left hand down. Inhale that right arm up. Keep that right leg straight and try to straightenish that left leg. And 5, exhale, hand back to the mat. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead and hands to Samastitihi and then to Tadasana. Okay, now we have the pleasure of the warm-up. We're going to do 4 Namaskar days. We'll pause in the first one like we have been doing for the last year. That will be in plank. So on your next inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up halfway. Gaze at that horizon. Exhale, palms to the mat. Jump back to plank and stand here for 10 breaths. Five. You can take a break anytime. 8. 9. And on your 10th exhale, come forward a bit and all the way down onto your belly. Bring your toenails down to the mat, forehead down. On an inhale, lift your chest, coming into cobra. And on your exhale, curl your toes under, lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. And walk out of your dog. And 5, on your 5th exhale, hop, step, or float to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. Hands to Samastitihi. And then to Tadasana. Okay, we'll do 3 more without pause. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, palms to the mat. Step or jump back to plank and down halfway. Inhale to up dog. Exhale, down dog. And rest for 5 breaths. And at the bottom of your 5th breath, hop, step, or float to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. Hands to Samastitihi, and then to Tadasana. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step and jump back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, forward, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And rest. Lengthen out your breath. And at the bottom of your 5th breath, hop, step, or float forward. Forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead. Hands to Samastitihi. And then to Tadasana. 1 more. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, palms to the mat. Step or jump back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, forward to up dog. Exhale, back up into down dog. Four. And 5. Hop, step, or float. Forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead, hands to Samastitihi. Sorry, I had to turn down my music. Okay, so now we start Namaskar B. The first one, on an inhale, drop your seat, raise your palms up into chair pose, Utkatasana. Tuck that tailbone under. Reach those fingertips higher. Fifth breath in. And on your fifth exhale, forward fold over straight legs, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank, down halfway. Inhale to up dog. Exhale, hips up and back to down dog. Left foot turns out, right foot comes forward. Inhale to warrior one. Exhale, hands right back down to the mat. Move to plank, and down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. This time, right foot turns out, left foot comes forward. Inhale up to warrior one. Exhale down, back to plank, and down halfway. Inhale to up dog. Exhale, down dog. And rest here for 5 breaths. Slow down your breathing. At the bottom of your 5th breath, hop, step, or float. Forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Listen carefully. On your next inhale, drop your seat. Raise your hands up. Utkatasana. Continue rising all the way up. And then lower your hands to Samastitihi. And then Tadasana. Okay, you can step that out. This time we will be pausing in warrior one for 5 breaths, going to humble warrior for 5 breaths. So on your next inhale, drop your seat, raise your arms up. Utkatasana. Bend those knees a little bit more. Tuck that tailbone under. See if you can feel the lengthening of your spine. Reach those fingertips even higher. And at the bottom of your 5th breath, forward fold. Inhale up halfway, gaze at that horizon. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, forward to up dog. Exhale, hips up and back. Left foot turns out, right foot comes forward. You're rising up to warrior one for 5 breaths. Now work on your stance here. Your right knee should be bent a lot. Your hips should be square to the front of the mat. Your feet can be wide apart. Back foot can be turned out to the side for 45 degrees. And on your 5th exhale, let your arms float down. Come around behind your back. Release your fingers however you want. Push your palms down. Opening up your chest. And then forward fold into humble warrior. Just inside that right knee. Lift those knuckles up towards the ceiling as you gaze back past your left foot all the way to the horizon. 4. On your 5th exhale, release your bind. Allow your arms to float down. And then come right back up to warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, forward to up dog. Exhale to down dog. Right foot turns out. Left foot steps forward. Inhale up to warrior two or warrior one. Slow down your breathing. On your fifth exhale, arms float down behind your back. This time, interlace your fingers the opposite way. Push your knuckles down, opening up your chest. And exhale, humble warrior. Bring your chest forward and down inside that left knee, lifting your knuckles up towards the ceiling, gazing towards the horizon beyond that right foot. And on your fifth exhale, release your bind, arms swing down, all the way back up to warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, forward up dog. Exhale, down dog. Rest here for 5 breaths. And when your lungs empty on the fifth exhale, hop, step, or float to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale up halfway, gaze at that horizon. Exhale, forward fold. Listen carefully. Drop your seat, bend your knees, raise your hands, chair, then rise all the way up, palms together to, and then Tadasana. Okay, you can step that out. Okay, you've done the warm up now. Now the rest is all downhill. So to start, come back into Tadasana. Gaze down at your feet and hop your feet mat width apart. We're going to be doing Hastasana, big hand to big fingers, and hand to your big toe rather, and then Hastasana, your palms. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Grab onto your big toe with your peace fingers. Inhale, stretch forward and up, gazing at that horizon. Exhale, forward fold. Use the strength in your arms. Draw the crown of your head down as you push your hips up. And on your fifth exhale, release your hands. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead. Hands to Samasthiti. And then Tadasana. This now is Hastasana. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Bring a palm underneath your foot, and then the other palm underneath the other foot. Maybe your toes come all the way to your wrist, maybe not. Inhale, lift your chest, straighten out your legs, and exhale, forward fold. And again, use the strength in your arms. Draw your crown of your head down, lifting up your hips. This counter pose helps your shoulders and your arms from all that work with the vinyasas. And on your fifth exhale, release your bind. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead. Hands to Samasthiti. And then Tadasana. Hop your feet back to hip distance apart. And now you're ready for your next vinyasa. These vinyasas from now on are merely to maintain your body heat so that you get the most out of your practice. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, slide forward to up dog. Exhale, hips up and back into down dog. And walk out your dog. And 5, look between your hands. Hop, step, or float. Forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Hastasana, and then Tadasana. Because the camera's on the left side of me, I'm going to take a giant step back with my left foot, but I will keep doing this in the conventional way with the right leg forward. You can step your right foot to the back of your mat, whatever works for you. So on the next inhale, giant step towards the back of your mat. Your front foot is pointed forward, right foot's pointed forward towards the front. Bring your arms up into T. Both legs are straight. This is triangle. So from here, drop your front hip, lift your back hip, and then tip your triangle. As that right arm comes down, bring it on the inside of that right leg. Now, you want your shoulders vertical, so lean back, fall back. And 5, inhale, rise all the way up to T. Just rotate your feet. So your left foot now is towards the end of your mat. Your right foot is at 90 degrees. From here, drop that left hip, raise the right, and then tip your triangle to the left. Now your gaze can be up at that right hand or down at your left foot. But again, what you really want to be doing is getting your shoulder blades vertical. And 5, inhale, rise all the way back up. Rotate your feet 180 degrees towards the other end of the mat. This time we're going to do a revolved triangle. So step that left foot in, keep your arms in T, rotate your chest over your right side, and then bring that left arm down on the outside of that right leg. That left arm can go, or I'm sorry, your right arm can go up into the air, can stay on your right hip, or it can come behind your back. Again, you're looking for shoulder blades being vertical. 4, 5, inhale, windmill your arms all the way up, rotate your feet towards the other end of your mat, adjust your foot locations, and then rotate your chest off to the left side of your body, and then lower that right arm down to revolved triangle. This side may be radically different than the other, that's okay. And at the bottom of your 5th exhale, rise all the way back up, arms into T, rotate your feet towards the front of the mat, step forward into Samasthiti, and then Tadasana. And you're ready for another vinyasa. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank. Come down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And enjoy this. Walk out your dog if you wish. And 5, look between your hands. Hop, step, or float. Forward fold. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead. Hands to Samasthiti. And then Tadasana. Next, we have side angle. So take a giant step back with your whichever leg. Right leg is towards the front of the mat. Bring your arms up into T. Your right leg can be any direction, I'm sorry. But my right leg's towards the front. You're in warrior two. Okay, now bend that right elbow and then forward fold, bringing the middle of that right forearm to the center of your thigh, and take that left arm up overhead and reach for the corner of the wall and ceiling intersection beyond your head. Make sure you're not putting too much weight on that right arm. 5, inhale, rise all the way up, straighten out your legs, arms to T, face the side of your mat, rotate your feet to the back of the mat, bend that left knee, coming down into warrior two. From here, bend that left elbow, rotate forward, forearm to the middle of that left thigh, and then bring that right arm up and over your head towards the far wall, and make a straight line from your right toes to your right fingertips. And 5, inhale, rise all the way up into T, rotate your feet. This time, rotate your chest towards your right foot and bend that right knee a lot. Bring your hands to heart center. And then twist your chest towards the right. And on an exhale, fold forward, hooking your left elbow over your right knee, coming into prayer twist. Try to get your shoulder blades vertical. And 5, inhale, release. Come all the way back up to warrior two. Straighten your legs, rotate your arms, adjust your feet. Look towards the back of your mat, bend that front knee. Bring your palms to heart center. And then on an exhale, bring that right elbow over the top of that left thigh. Coming into prayer twist. Push that right heel down, straightening out that right leg, stretching your right hamstrings. 4 and 5. Inhale, come all the way back up into T. Rotate your feet towards the front of the mat. Step forward into Samastitihi, and then Tadasana. Have another vinyasa here. So should you decide to do it, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, forward tough dog. Exhale, down dog. Slow down your breathing. 5, look between your hands. Hop, step, or float. Forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead. Hands to Samastitihi. And then Tadasana. Okay, so now we've come to Prasarita. So step whatever foot you wish towards the back of your mat. Bring your feet out wide. Your feet are pointed towards the side of the mat, the long edge. Bring your hands to your hips. Draw your shoulder blades together. Lift your chest high, gaze up. And then exhale, come forward. And as you come forward, you can drop your hands to the mat at any time if you wish. Getting your head to the mat is not the goal. The goal is to open up your hips, both your groins and your hip sockets. And it also stretches your back. On your next inhale, come up halfway. Bring your hands to your hips. And then using your legs, lift your chest high. Move your hands to the back of your hips. Draw your shoulder blades together and your elbows toward each other. Chest high and exhale, forward fold. And as you come forward, keep drawing your elbows toward each other as your head comes down. And 5. Inhale, use your legs to rise all the way back up. Bring your arms out into T. Stretch your fingers wide and bring your arms behind your back. Interlace your fingers however you wish. Push your knuckles away. That will make your shoulder blades kiss. Open up your chest. Gaze up. And on your exhale, forward fold. Drawing the crown of your head down towards the mat again as your knuckles rise up towards the ceiling. And on your next inhale, use your hands to draw your chest all the way back up. Release your bind. Bring your arms out into T. Inhale, chest high. Exhale, forward fold with your arms out wide. Your hands can come down to your legs. They can grab onto your big toes. Again, though, this is to lengthen your spine, open your groins, open your hips, and lengthen your hamstrings. And 5, release your bind. Inhale, use your legs to rise all the way back up. Bring your hands to your hips. From here, to get your feet back together, you can heel toe, or you can hop your feet together. Then just turn towards the front of the mat and step forward into Tadasana, where you're ready for yet another vinyasa. But we're almost done with those vinyasas. So from here, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, forward to up dog. Exhale, hips up and back into down dog. And walk this up. Or at the base of your 5th exhale, when your chest is empty, hop, step, or float. Forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead. Hastasana, Sthiti. And then Tadasana. Okay, so this time, what we're going to do, we're going to do the Tira Pada Hastasana series. So you start in Tadasana. On your inhale, bring your weight to your left foot. Lift your right leg up. Grab onto your right big toe. And then stretch that leg out in front. Four. And 5. From here, maybe you can just swing that right leg off to the side. Maybe not. And if you can't, that's okay. Maybe what you should do is just rotate that right knee out to the right And then lift that knee up, grab it with your arm, your hand, and draw that right knee in towards your chest. And 5, release. Okay, so going to do 2 more on that same leg right now. So come back to Tadasana. The first one is going to be inhale, lift your knee up, right knee up, and then bend that knee, and maybe you can grab that right foot and bring the heel to your left hip crease, and then lower that right knee down. This is a preparation for Lotus Hastasana, which is right at the end. We've been doing this at the end of the Hastasanas. And then from here, release and come right into tree, your version of tree pose. Remember, the only thing that you cannot do is put your foot across the top and bottom of your knee, because your knee is not intended to bend to the side. And on the exhale, release, step that out. Okay, so now I'll turn the other direction. So now you have the other leg. Lift your toes, spread them wide. Weight into your right foot. Inhale your left foot up. Grab your big toe with your left foot, your left hand, and straighten-ish that leg out. Straighten your spine. That's more important than a straight leg at this point. And on your exhale, maybe you can swing that out to the left. If that works, that's great. If not, you can always grab that knee, draw it into your chest, but at a 90-degree angle from your right foot. In 5, release. Step that out just a second. And now we're going to do the right heel into your, or left heel into your right hip crease. So inhale, lift that left knee up. Reach for that foot, right, left foot. Draw that heel in towards your right hip crease. Then just lower that left knee down. Soften your glutes here, your right glute. Reach around behind and see how much tension there is. And then release that leg and come right into your version of tree. And if you fall out, that's perfectly fine. If you want to get your branches to grow, you can always reach up. And then exhale, release. Shake that out. Maybe do some hula hoops with your hips. Come back to center. And then Tadasana. From here, I think we'll go right into the seated poses. So the next pose is going to be Tadasana. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank and down halfway. Inhale forward to up dog. Exhale, lift your hips up and back into down dog. And on your fifth exhale, you can hop, step, float, jump through, or just come down onto your knees and then onto your sit bones. And bring your feet out towards the front of the mat. Tadasana, get your feet about hip width apart. That will allow your hips to work individually. Bring your hands to the mat and push in, lifting your chest. Now, if your arms are a little short, they can always come behind a little bit. Your sit bones should still be on the mat, but just with a little bit less weight. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we haven't done this in the live classes because frankly, I don't think, well, nobody was doing it. But I know some of you at home are doing it. So if you'd like to cross your ankles, lift your knees high. Use your blocks if you need to or want to. Inhale, lift up, and then kick your feet out forward. Now we have Pashumatasana, A and B. So inhale your spine tall, exhale, forward fold, grab onto your toes with each hand. Draw your collarbones towards your feet, crown of your head towards the far wall. Moon the person behind you, that will tilt your pelvis forward and straightness your legs. This is a hamstring stretch and a spine stretch. You want to keep tension in your arms. And 5, release. Inhale, come all the way back up. And exhale, forward fold. This time grabbing a bind across the bottom of your feet, or maybe just grab the outsides of your feet. And forward fold. Again, crown of your head towards the far wall, collarbones towards your feet. Moan that person behind you. And straighten up your legs as best you can. And 5, release. Inhale, come all the way back up. This time, bring your footprints to the mat, about hip width apart. Bring your hands behind your hips. And on an inhale, tuck your tailbone under and lift your hips up into reverse table. For 5 breaths. Feel how good this is on your shoulders. Draw your heels towards your hands. Push your knees towards the far wall. And on your 5th exhale, lower your hips down. Bring both feet all the way back out, seated up. And then bend your right knee. Bring your right sole of your foot to your left inner thigh. Inhale your spine tall. And exhale, forward fold towards that right foot. Maybe you can grab both hands to that foot. Let that right knee drift down. This is a hip opener as well as a hamstring stretch. Draw your collarbones towards that foot. Maybe you can move those hips away or straighten that leg just a little bit. And 5, release. Inhale, come all the way back up. And exhale, forward fold. This time, maybe you can make a bind across the bottom of that foot with both hands. Lower your shoulders away from your ears. That will lower your shoulder blades down your back. And notice the position of your right knee. Has it drifted down any further? And 5, release. Inhale all the way back up. right foot goes out to meet the left. Then that left knee, bring the left sole into your right inner thigh. Inhale tall and exhale, reach for the toes of that right foot with both hands. Drawing your collarbones forward, and then bow your head, taking the crown of your head towards the far wall. Moon that person behind you. Maybe you can feel your hips moving back away from your foot. And 5, release. Inhale, come all the way back up. And exhale, forward fold, making a bind across the bottom of that foot. We have a juvenile gecko living in our lanai again, and he is watching intently. 4, 5, release. Inhale, come all the way back up. Bring both legs out in front. Now this is out of sequence, but it never was really part of sequence. Let's do that heel, the right heel to the left hip crease again. This time you're not standing, so all the muscles are relaxed, just to see how this is. Inhale tall and exhale forward. Maybe you can grab onto that left foot with your hand or hands. Draw your collarbones forward. And 5, release. Inhale back up, right foot out, then your left knee, left heel to your right hip crease. Inhale tall and exhale forward fold. And 5, release. Inhale, all the way back up. Left foot goes out to meet the right. And from here, bend your knees, cross your ankles, bring them in close. Grab your blocks if you want to bump. Inhale, bump up. Kick your feet out. Okay, so from here, we have Marichi. So bend your right knee and bring that right heel up towards, I'll face you, towards the front of your mat. Marichi A is the forward fold. So from here, inhale up and then exhale, forward fold. Try to get your right shoulder in front of that right knee. That may just be a dream, but if you forward fold towards the far wall, that's progress. And 5, release. Keep your foot where it is. This time, bend your left knee. Bring that left heel in towards your right sit bone, and then replace your right heel in front of your left ankle. Inhale, lift up tall. And again, this is a forward fold. So fold forward, trying to keep that right sit bone down. Maybe you can come farther this time. Maybe you can reach around that knee. That left hand can reach around behind you, or just forward fold. This feels like you're preparing your body to be placed in a small box. Inhale, come all the way back up. This time, just leave your both feet where they are. Grab your right knee with your left hand. Right hand comes around behind as a kickstand. You want to rotate your shoulder back and down so that your shoulder blade is down as far as it goes. Inhale tall and then twist to the right. And on each inhale, lengthen your spine. Each exhale, twist a little bit further. And 5, release. Bring both legs out to the front of your mat. This time, bend your left knee, bring your left heel up towards your left sit bone. Doesn't have to be real close. Inhale tall. You can always grab onto that left foot or the bottom of the left foot with your right hand. Inhale and exhale, forward fold. Trying to get that left shoulder in front of that left knee or shin. In 5, release. Keep that left foot where it is. And that right knee, bring that right heel close to your left sit bone and replace the left knee where that is, or where it was. Inhale tall and exhale, forward fold. Now maybe you can reach around behind you and make a bind across your back as you fold forward. And release. Inhale. Keep your legs where they are. Sit up. Right hand on your left knee. Draw that in towards your chest and lift your chest high. Take your left hand out and behind you. Inhale tall. Try to get that left shoulder blade down. Keeping your spine long is the key to your twists. So inhale and exhale, twist to your left. Each exhale, maybe you can come a little bit farther. Each inhale, maybe you can raise up a little bit higher. Kind of ratcheting into your maximum extent of movement. In 5, release, come back to center. Bring both legs out to the front of the mat. And then cross your ankles, bend your knees, bring them high up close into your chest. On an inhale, bump up. Kick your feet out. And you're ready for the next pose, which is going to be 3 rounds of boat. So, or Navasana. So to start, just bring your footprints onto the mat, about hip width apart. Now, you can have your feet together if you wish. That's perfectly acceptable. But to start, to get your spine in the right location and maximum extension, grab onto the backs of your thighs with your hands. And then lean back and stiffen up your spine. And from here, when you're ready, inhale, lift your calves up so your shins are roughly parallel. And then exhale, release your bind if you wish. And 5, release, and down. Maybe just rock your knees a little bit left to right. And then for version 2, start in the same position. Get your shoulder blades down. On the inhale, lift your legs up. Release if you wish. Breathe. And 5, release. Rock your feet back and forth again. Okay, one more. Get into the starting position. Inhale, legs up, release. To intensify this, you can straighten your legs, bring your arms forward or out or up. 3, 4, and 5. Release. And rock your feet from one side to the other. From here, cross your ankles, bring your knees in close, lift your knees high. On an inhale, bump up, kick your feet forward. We're coming into Tadasana, which is butterfly pose. So from here, bring your soles together. And then this is a 2-stage. So bring your heels in close to your sit bones. They don't have to be in so tight that you can't fold forward without rounding your spine. But get them a comfortable distance apart, or a comfortable distance away from your pubic bone. Inhale tall, grab onto those feet, and then on the exhale, come forward, your collarbones rotating towards the front of your mat, the crown of your head towards the far wall. You should be feeling this a lot in your groins. If your elbows are long enough, you can push your calves down or your thighs down. And 5, release. Inhale, come all the way back up. This time, move your feet forward, roughly make a square with your ankles and your thighs. Inhale, tall. Exhale, forward fold. Now, you can bring your forearms underneath your ankles if you wish. You can grab onto your feet with your hands if you wish. Lots of options, but the option that you have to use is draw your collarbones towards the front of your mat. Lower your shoulder blades and take the crown of your head towards the far wall. And 5, release. Inhale, rise back up. You guessed it, cross your ankles, lift your knees high, or one more bump up. Inhale, bump up. Kick your feet out in front. And we are to Padmasana, Lotus Pose. So your Lotus Pose can be whatever works best for you. You can sit cross-legged, right leg forward, left leg forward, does not matter. You can go into half lotus. Half lotus is when you take one heel and bring it up onto your hip crease. And then the other foot can just rest underneath your other knee. Simple as that. That's fine. If your practice includes going into full lotus, make sure that your body is ready today, because every day is different. Maybe you can lower that right knee down and help that foot, other foot, come over the top so that you have one ankle crossed over the other, and your heels are close to your hip creases. And from there, just close your eyes and put your hands on your knees for just a moment and see how that feels. Make sure that it's good, that you don't have any pain. And then reach out to the side into T. Bring your hands around behind your back. Maybe you can make a bind with your hands. Maybe you can make a mudra, like an Anjali mudra behind your back. Maybe you can reach all the way over with your right hand and grab your right toes on both sides. That's plain silly for me to think about. Or just grab opposite elbows, opposite wrists, whatever. Inhale your spine tall. And then slowly, over 10 breaths, begin to fold forward. And as you begin your journey, notice how your body feels and be hyper aware of every change in your body as you come forward, just a fraction. You may be able to feel individual muscles picking up where its neighbor has begun to let off. You may be able to feel when your spine starts to stretch. Six. And 10. On your next inhale, begin to come up. Don't rise up too fast. And pause when you get fully erect. Bring your hands out onto your knees. You can make a mudra of your choice with your thumb and forefingers or whatever you'd like to do. But bring the backs of your hands on your knees. Inhale your spine tall. Lower your shoulder blades. Lower your shoulders. Allow your eyes to close. And take the next 10 breaths as a meditation. Begin to deepen your breath. Open your eyes. Use your hands to carefully untangle your feet. Notice how your feet feel. Bring both legs out straight towards the front of your mat. Push your heels away. Maybe rotate your feet on your heels, rotating your femurs in your hip socket. And lower down onto your elbows, all the way down onto your back. Getting ready for Shavasana. Take your arms up overhead. Let them rotate down towards the wall beyond your head and stretch your fingers as far apart from your toes as you can get. And then your heels stretch way away from your palms. And then bring your arms wherever it feels most comfortable for you. It can be out to the side in T. It can be down next to your body or anywhere in between. You can walk your feet wider apart or closer together. You can bend your knees with your knees together or your knees apart. And when you find a perfect spot for you, take a deep cleansing breath into your nose and exhale out through your nose. Take another cleansing breath into your nose, out through your nose, and take rest. Begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back into your space. Bring movement to your fingers, into your toes, your wrists, and to your ankles. Gently roll your head from left to right. And then walk your footprints up towards your sit bones. Give yourself a squeeze. Rock from left to right. Massaging your spine. And the next time you come over towards your right side, pause there for a moment in fetal pose. And do a scan of your body to see where any tension or stress may still be hiding so that you can address it sometime in the near future. And then using the strength of your left hand, push the floor away, rise up to a seated position. Thank you for joining me in this Ashtanga practice remotely. This is the anniversary of my 100th week of teaching Ashtanga. Take the kindness and compassion and empathy that you practice every time you step on your mat and share that with your family, your friends, and each person you meet. Namaste. My name is Clint, and this has been Ashtanga Yoga. Thank you for attending. Have a great week.